It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Test Miles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
Oh, welcome to a Sunday morning. Time to talk cars for the next 60 minutes on your weekly automotive experience. I'm Nick Miles. You're listening to America's automotive radio show. Test Miles, locally created and nationally celebrated. Good morning to our team. Sean, Brad, and Jenny are here. On this morning's show, Jeff Zerschmied is going to be here from the Oregonian, who will talk about a car that debuted in 1989 at the Chicago Auto Show. And it's arguably become one of the world's most successful sports cars, the Mazda Miata, or MX-5 as it's now called. Peter Klober from the Northwest Autocraft has settled into his new spacious digs. He'll be filling us in on what cars he's been working on, and we'll also have the latest in automotive news stories. But this is the part of the show when we talk about the reviews and the cars that we've been test driving over the last week. So one of the cars that I drove happens to be the Northwest hybrid vehicle of the year, and that is the Acura RLX Sports Hybrid. A four-door sedan, abundant standard features, spacious cabin, and excellent crash test scores, as pretty much every Acura has. The bad thing about it is the disconnected steering, and it's also display screen graphics a little out of date. It has some interesting uncomfortableness in the seats, but overall, I will tell you, a very, very well put together car. 3.5 V6 is the engine, 310 horsepower, 6-speed auto, all-wheel drive, which I kind of like in a hybrid, and 24 miles a gallon combined. That's the gas version of the vehicle. Now, when you get this vehicle on the road, there's a couple of things that kind of bug me a little bit. And this is a new trend which is happening in automobiles. This is where your shifter is no longer a shifter, but it's a series of buttons in the middle of the dash.
MDX this week. Hated it.
You know, I sit there and I'm like, I have to physically look. So the idea is they made every button a different shape. So technically, if you're driving it every day, you can feel for the shape you want and press it.
I am going to drive through the Starbucks plate glass window one of these days because it's not in... I think it's stopped and in park.
Right. I have to physically look, and I have to look for the letter, and it goes D, drive. This is a circular button. Or R, reverse, have to pull back the lever. It's not intuitive. Now, we're kind of a strange bunch of people. We get to drive cars for a week. We get to evaluate them. If you're doing this on a daily basis, I'm sure over the space of 15 years, you get very used to where those buttons are.
By the time your lease is up.
Yes, or 3 years. So, that's exactly my problem with the vehicle. What does it go against? It goes up against the Infiniti. It goes up against the Lexus ES, Lincoln MKS. A lot of these cars is what the RLX goes up against. However, the hybrid version is slightly different. It does start around $60,000. I will tell you they've done a great job. So 3 motors in this vehicle. It has 2 motors in the back, actually 4 motors in the vehicle, 1 in the transmission, and then a gas engine up front. Also wanted to talk a little bit about a car I've recently been driving. That's the BMW i8 2-door. It's a 2+2 coupe. However, you'd have to be pretty small to get in the back seats.
Can you fit in the back seat?
I have fit in the back seat of this.
Comfortably?
No. Well, wait a second. I'm not your average height.
I know, but you said you had to be pretty small to fit in the back seat, so that's why I'm asking.
No, I definitely fit in the back seat.
Are we talking like even kid size, or just try and get the actual size?
Let me just think about this. No kid size. That's I am kid size. Sort of.
Teenage size.
Am I?
Yeah.
All right. So it's hard to get in the back of the vehicle. But there are a couple things that are amazing about it. First of all, you drive this thing downtown in Portland, everybody takes their phone out and takes a picture of you. The doors are the gull wing doors. They open up to the side. This thing is an absolutely amazing vehicle. 93 miles a gallon is, I think, what we were getting on the electric hybrid combined. The vehicle has the electric engine. It has the mini engine in back, which is the 3-cylinder. Now, it's a little bit of a a difficult situation because they do pump the engine sound into the vehicle and they change it somewhat. So what you hear inside the vehicle is not actually what's going on. So it sounds a little bit more Ferrari-esque than it actually is. BMW got a lot of kicks in the backside about that. But I will tell you, the i8 is the car of the future. $138,000.
So almost twice that of a Tesla.
Yes.
So?
Yeah. But I would have it.
I'd take it over a Tesla any day.
I would tell you right now, if I happened to open my wallet and find $138,000 in it I didn't need, I'd buy this car. It is stunning. I get all the attention I deserve. It's futuristic. It's well-shaped. You go anywhere, you get out of the car, and people wander over and say, "Oh, I love your car, man. It's really cool." So, that's what I've been driving this week. I will tell you, the i8, definitely on my list.
So you've been very green this week.
Yes, very green.
Good boy.
Yeah, thanks. Sean, what have you been driving?
To keep on that green note, I was driving the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, and this was runner-up to the Acura, wasn't it? In the Drive Evolution?
When you say runner-up...
in its class, I thought it was runner-up.
The second and third and fourth places weren't announced. However, they were... it did get a good score.
Okay, we'll keep it on that note then. But it's a four-door mid-size sedan, and there's some great things. Like the Hyundai actually... People are so worried about their batteries or giving lifetime battery or replacement for this car.
I always worry about the word lifetime.
Well,
is Brad's lifetime, my lifetime, very different
probably
things.
lifetime of the first.
You've got a long ways to go to get to my lifetime. I feel pretty fulfilled at this point.
At least for the car, clearly, if it's my lifetime, it's going to last 100 years. Brad's a couple of years.
Yeah, who knows? But anyways, I mean, they just give there's a lot of great benefit with owning this car. I was getting 44 miles to the gallon. 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The trunk space was just kind of what blew me away because having the Accord hybrid a little bit ago, there's no trunk space. But it's amazing how big the trunk actually is and how much you can fit in there with a hybrid system. I expected to open it and just have nothing there, but it goes back there. 2-liter GDI 4-cylinder engine, has 193 net horsepower. It's so easy to actually drive this vehicle that I really like it. I do think it's fit for people Brad's age versus, a younger buyer, but it's a nice vehicle. It goes up against the Camry, Accord hybrid, Fusion. The only down I have with this car is that the navigation screen was smaller than my cell phone. It's a little tiny, and it was hard to see in the sunlight.
I think it was like 3 inches or something.
Yeah, but I mean, with the cost of
now,
it was smaller than my Galaxy S5.
Yeah, I got that was probably the chief complaint about that vehicle. I think it probably comes with a bigger screen,
but it was also a little harder. Yeah, it has the upgrade navigation screen, but for a stock system, and I think how much navigation screens cost nowadays, they should just put it in there.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, it's a great vehicle. It's a must-own.
So you can go over to Mobile West. You just buy the base one, and then you go to Mobile West.
Northwest Autocraft.
Excuse me, you're right.
But I think the problem, though, with this is that it's integrated into the actual dash, and I think it'd be a little hard to actually...
No, you know what? Peter would get his guys with a hacksaw, and they'd replace that thing, no problem.
Make it look pretty and awesome.
You done?
Yeah.
Price was? What do we talk about price?
You can actually get into one for $26,000.
All right, Brad.
I didn't go green. I went bright red. Sexy, fun. I had the VW Golf GTI.
Excellent.
And I was actually on the very first press launch for this car back in 1983 in Santa Barbara. They used to do a really fun ad. They would
1983, how long ago is that?
4 or 5 years ago.
All right.
It's the new math.
So you know what we just learned there? Brad is actually living in the late 80s. So carry on.
That's right. But this car is really fun. In our little group here, we have differing opinions. And I think I am nostalgic about this car. So I was preconceived to really like it. So I overlooked a few of the things. So we'll start with the negatives. It's the oft-mentioned low-tech part of Volkswagen.
Right.
Which includes no USB ports.
Right.
So I had to go find my adapter for my phone cord.
It is the North American car of the year, though.
It's great, but it starts in the mid-20s, goes up to $34,000. It is really fun to drive, and the Burberry seats were my favorite. Substantially comfortable for a big guy like me.
Wait till you drive the Golf R.
That's its main competition is itself.
Yeah, your head will spin. But for $40,000, the Golf R. What did it start at?
It starts in the mid-20s.
All right.
And you can get a fairly well-equipped one for $25,000.
I would also own that car if I found $138,000 for the BMW i8 and then an extra 20.
And Lowell would get to drive the GT.
Infinite income, we'd own a lot of cars here.
Yeah, I know. Well, we can, you know what? Test driving is free. Imagination is free. That's what I say. You're listening to Test Miles and FM News 101 KXL. Coming up, we're going to talk about the 2016 Mazda Miata. Jeff Zerschmied from the Oregonian going to be here. He's going to tell us about the history and the car and the new one and how it drives and how exciting it is. We'll have Peter Clover from Northwest Autocraft to talk about what he's been working on and the latest news stories in automotive. I'm Nick Miles.
It's Test Miles on FM News 101. Test Miles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. TestMiles.com.
Welcome back to Test Miles and FM News 101 KXL. You can find us on the web at testmiles.com.
I'm just looking at, Jeff's going to be talking about the Miata, and here's an interesting fact on that. It was basically conceived by an American, not just an American, but an American automotive journalist who was the West Coast editor for Auto Week, Bob Hall. He was asked what Mazda's next car should be, and he described a lightweight, entry-level sports car with a convertible top. Sound familiar?
It
does indeed.
It certainly does. It's just surprising that an auto journalist came up with something
a good idea. He didn't do any work. He just came up with the idea.
Let your mind drift back to 1989. The average temperature in February of that year at the Chicago Auto Show was a nice 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Mazda showed off their new sports car, a lightweight two-seater roadster with a front engine, rear wheel drive layout, manufactured in Hiroshima, Japan. The MX-5 was conceived as the small roadster, nice and lightweight, mechanically fairly straightforward, but at the same time, very simple. This vehicle is the modern MX-5. Now you jump forward to this modern year coming out of 1989, and the car is one of the most successful sports cars of all time. And Jeff Zerschmied is here, who went on the ride and drive for the vehicle. Jeff, you are not only an auto journalist, but you are a Mazda Miata owner and fan. Did the 2016 live up to your expectations?
Can I gush? Is it okay to gush?
Yes,
this Miata, and it is a Miata, by the way. It's
right.
That whole MX-5 not a Miata thing was only for a couple of years, and
they got rid of the MX-5.
No, it's still an MX-5, but it's an MX-5 Miata.
All right.
Anyway, it is head and shoulders the best Miata ever made. Right. I still own a 1990 first year Miata. I love it, and I had a 2012. Third generation Miata, and I loved that. But this new Miata is it takes everything back to the beginning of a lightweight, small, affordable sports car, starting at about $25,000 once you get through the shipping and fondling.
Shipping and fondling.
When you adjust for inflation, it's actually cheaper than the Miata was in the summer of 1989 when it came out. Wow. And
so they've restyled the outside.
You get restyled outside, very bold, very sexy looking styling. It's got the 2-liter engine at 155 horsepower, and interesting, a little more about that later. But you have your choice of a 6-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual. Buy the manual. Just shut up. Buy the manual.
Sure should get a manual. I love it.
And what they've really done is they have this thing called the gram strategy at Mazda, and they look at every gram of the car to see where they can reduce weight. And they were showing us where they've pulled 5 pounds out of the differential. They pulled 10 pounds out of the transmission. They just pulled weight out of every little part of the car. Went to aluminum hub carriers in the front and everything else, so that the new car is right around the same weight as the original. It's got more power than the original. It is just in every way a fantastic new car, and you need to go and drive one. And if you drive one, bring your checkbook because you're going to buy it.
What about the top? Is it an automatic top now, or is it still manual?
No, it's still manual. In this first year, I'm sure they'll come out with another power retractable hardtop because they kind of have to. But the top is a canvas convertible top, and what they've done with it for old guys like me who have rotator cuff problems in our shoulder is they've spring-loaded it so that when you pull the release, the top pops up a bit, and then you can very easily pull it up and latch it.
Right.
And when you unlatch it, you just throw it back, and it goes down and hooks.
The Miata was always the best convertible for Oregon weather, where it could rain at any time.
Oh yeah,
because you could literally be driving down at 40 miles an hour, just reach back, whoosh, pull the top back up,
pull
if
that
it started
top
raining.
up. Yeah, and that's true with the new car as well. So yeah, can't say enough about it. Great price, great driving car, and you ought to go down and drive one.
Now, it had an image as maybe a chick car. I know you own like 20 of them, but
and I hear that all the time. And my good friend Eddie Nikato at AR Auto Service has a response to that, because people always come to him and ask him what they should get for a track car. Should I get a Porsche? Should I get a BMW? He says, get a Miata. And they say, oh, that's a chick car. And he says, here, take mine, drive it. And I did this to somebody. I said, take this car and drive it for 48 hours and then tell me what you think. And universally, 24 hours later, they're calling and saying, I just bought one. You give somebody a Miata to drive for the weekend and they will buy one.
I actually got to drive this car about 6 weeks ago, just before the U.S. launch. They gave me one in California, and I didn't do an awful lot with it, but I was really surprised at how balanced the car was, how sticky it was in corners. Like, you can accelerate out of the corner and not feel like you're going to lose control of the vehicle.
Oh, not at all.
And the interior, thank goodness. That's all I can say. Yeah. Because one of the big shortages in Miata was the fact that you got such a sparse car. That's great. That's great if you're a sports car guy and you're militant about the car and you love simple, top-down roadster driving. But if you had to live in the car and you needed the car to be able to function around your life, it wasn't so great.
Absolutely. With the Grand Touring Edition, which will run you about $30,000 in the new 2016 Miata, you're getting nav. You're getting the Bluetooth hands-free phone support is available throughout the line now. It's standard. But you're getting all of the creature comforts, the heated seats, which is great in the Northwest for a convertible. If it's sunny and cool out, you just drop the top, put the heat on, and away you go. You're getting all of that stuff, and you're getting it at a great price. So
I will tell you, I really, really want one of these cars. I'm just sitting here thinking now, I just spent $30,000 on a Golf GTI. I just spent $138,000 on a BMW i8, and now I need to add another $30,000.
Well, you need a Roadster.
Yeah.
The GT, the Grand Touring Edition, is the best one. For the money, for just the $5,000 difference, the technology and the comfort and the package that you get is phenomenal.
When are they in dealerships?
They're in dealerships right now. You can go out and buy one today.
Call yourself a car guy, you better go test drive one. You're listening to FM News 101 KXL. This is Test Miles. Thank you, Jeff. We'll be back.
Thanks,
to find out about interiors of cars and the great things they do at Mobile West Autocraft.
Throw it in neutral and coast in with testmiles.com.
Live from our studios in downtown Portland, this is Sunday morning, and this is Automotive Car Radio. If you'd like to follow us, please go to our Facebook page. It's Test Miles, ENT.
Here's a fun fact so you can impress your friends. The first in-car radio was introduced in 1922 by Chevrolet, and it cost $200.
$200 would probably still buy you something cool in your car. You may know them as Mobile West, but now they are Mobile West Autocraft. They have undergone a transformation with a completely new building. They still have all the elements that customers love: great service, superior technicians, and some of the best product in the world. And they have a new location at 2111 Northeast MLK in Portland. Peter Clover is here. Peter, the move, is it done?
The move is done. We are, yes, many, many months of hard planning, hard work, lots of late nights, but the new building is up. It's smooth. We've got
How many unpacked boxes do you still have?
Oh, quite a few, but those aren't the important ones. But the showroom's all dialed up, all the installers' spaces are all working, fabrication in upholstery shop, everybody is working at 110% and have gotten to be in and efficient and comfortable with the new space.
So what projects are you working on right now?
Oh, numerous. The coolest one, the one that I'm most excited about, is we're just finishing up with our Project 10, which is a 92 Mercedes 500E. It's actually my car. We're doing a complete overhaul of it with the Mobile West style, Mobile West Autocraft. We're taking a used, nice vehicle that's great to drive, something that people love.
So what sort of stuff are you doing to it?
Well, we've, a 25-year-old car bought from down in the desert. The interior is completely thrashed. So we've completely redone the interior, not only the seats, all the plastics, headliner, door panels, all is Alcantara suede and leather,
nice.
French seams with just light contrast stitching. If you didn't know, it would look like the car was built that way.
Oh, cool.
If you do know, you know just how fantastic it looks and touches and feels.
Right.
We've also done a nice audio upgrade. Take, for example, a technology package on the new Miata is, $3,000 for the upgraded stereo. Well, we've done a nice $3,000 audio package in it that is nothing like what you get when you buy a car.
Right. It's more an infotainment center you'd have in your home, right?
And it sounds better than most people's home audio systems.
Right.
It's not good for a car. It's good for whatever your metric is.
Right.
And a no cut, no mod, can't see any changes sort of way because it's a classic vehicle.
Right.
And then we've done an appearance group on the outside, wheels and tires, upgraded all the lighting to LED, so you've got headlights that are better than what comes on a new vehicle.
Nice.
Radar detector systems, DVR camera so that you can record.
Now, what size is the engine in that car?
That is a 5-liter.
Oh, it's a 5.
Yeah, 5-liter V8. That particular
So
car.
you probably need a radar system in it then.
Yeah. When that car was launched, it's the fastest four-door saloon ever made.
Wow,
and
wow.
it was actually, that was a car that was built hand in hand with Porsche on the Porsche 959 production line. They're very, very iconic cars, and most people think it's one of the top 3 cars that Porsche ever built.
Wow.
So
that's on your floor, and then you're doing lots of customer projects. I know you have a big showroom up front now, which you had I would say a showroom that was fairly modest before, but your showroom space increased now in the MLK location.
Absolutely, and we've built a custom showroom to show everything that we do, not just bits and pieces, and it's not overwhelming like.
Remind us of some of the things that you do.
Well, okay, so of course we do audio upgrades. That's that's our heart and soul, and that's where we started. But also technology upgrades, right? Yes, nav, yes, touchscreen, yes, Bluetooth, and backup cameras, but also, integrating with factory units, lane departure systems, vehicle safety systems, remote starts, heated seats, of course, interior upgrades, tints, wraps, pretty much.
So you bring the car and mechanically sound vehicle, and you'll just add all the other stuff in.
Right, because, say you take a 5-year-old car that doesn't have an iPod hookup, doesn't have Bluetooth, doesn't have a backup camera, doesn't have any of these things, and newer cars are looking pretty worse for wear after 5 to 7 years.
Right.
Well, let's just update the car that you already have paid for, that will last you another 150,000 miles.
I love that. And, sometimes because you can customize, it's almost like checking the boxes when you order a car. You can choose everything in it. So it's almost fun doing it with a car that you're in love with already, that you've had for a while.
No, absolutely. Well, it's like taking your suit to the tailor.
Right.
All of a sudden it fits you.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
And it's the colors you like and the sound you like and the features that you like.
Right. And then you keep the thing forever as opposed to just buying something off the shelf and it's like, it's okay.
Let me ask you this. So we worked on a project last year, our Project Discovery, where we took a 2002 Land Rover Discovery and we made it into the perfect luxury dog transportation unit. We put in beautiful interior. You did an amazing job. You put the Test Miles logo right on the headrests in the seats. You painted the interior, put new headliner in it. You put carbon fiber in it. You need new carpets, sound deadening underneath, a kick backside stereo, an iPad mini on the inside. You did a stellar job. We wrapped the outside. We put an air cannon on the back to shoot tennis balls. This year, we have to trump ourselves and come up with something. So I actually talked to Andy Lilienthal at Bushwhackers. He's the PR guy there, and said, what can we do? Come up with some ideas. We were thinking that maybe what we could do is a Jeep Wrangler. And make the ultimate overland vehicle.
I think that's fantastic. I'm completely on board with that.
What's some of the things that we could do? Obviously the Bushwhackers and the winches, and we could do that stuff. But can we make an interior that's durable?
Oh, without fail. We do that all the time. Let's go make a nice interior that's quiet and luxuriant, but also hose-offable.
Yes.
Right? Non-skip, non-skid materials so that we can hose the thing off when we get it dirty. We'll redo the seating, add heat and lumbar, and rebuild the foam so that they fit your body correctly.
Right.
And then upholster those in a nice hard wearing but feel and touch.
And maybe I was thinking, because one of the party things that you like to do with Land Rovers is, or with Jeeps, is you go camping or you go to the outdoors with them. So perhaps what we can do is build a stereo system in. Maybe we can get the speakers that can rotate out, so we can have a bit of a party.
No, absolutely. That's part and parcel of what you want to do, right? Some are Jeeping. Hey, the top's off, or you've got just a bikini top on it. We want.
I've got my mind's working now.
Right,
I'm thinking,
waterproof and marine grade audio systems that are meant to not only sound good inside the cab, but also project outward so that you can have your Jeep parked away from the fire pit.
Maybe what we can do is put a karaoke machine in the back.
Normal.
And then, especially when we put it in the front and center of the auto show, we can have Sean singing karaoke.
Absolutely. You don't want me singing karaoke, but Sean, we're all for it.
Sean, are you willing to sing karaoke at the auto show?
Yeah, I have a voice like an angel, so why not? But maybe I'll get kicked out.
You got us almost kicked out last year. Peter, is a karaoke machine possible in the back of a Jeep?
Oh, of course.
So we'd have to have a microphone and screens for people to read the words.
Done and done. Those are easy things, right? Here's the thing. We're not everybody else's, we're not your kid's car stereo shop.
Right.
We have nothing to do. Yes, we can do just the basics like everybody else does. But here's the point. It's called Autocraft. Make your car yours.
I love that idea.
Whatever you want.
Of a karaoke machine in the back. That would be so much fun. We'd have to find ourselves a couple of big-time singers to come and demonstrate the car.
I think that's fantastic. All the Lucky Limousine buses, we all have them. A couple other companies that do
before you know it, Lucky Limousine will be taking Sprinter vans and putting karaoke on a small stage and perhaps a shiny brass pole in the back to help you when you climb in and out.
Exactly. Guys at Prestige Limousine. There are a couple other tour companies that we do these things, customize your vehicle to do the tasks that you want.
Perfect.
Effortlessly and in a high-quality way.
Peter, tell me how people find you and how they can come and have their car beautifully customized at your wonderful business.
The starters, to get a sense of what we do, just go to mwpdx.us. That's
mobilewestpdx.us, mwpdx.us.
mwpdx.us or mobilewestpdx.com.
All right.
You will have a good sense of all of the things that we can do for your car, for your truck, for your RV, for your boat, for your motorcycle, whatever.
Ooh, motorcycle. Yeah. I'm just about to buy one. I might have to come to you to see.
Power sports and marine audio are very, very important.
Tell me how people should do it. Should they look at your website and then call you and tell you what they want to do, and you guys can discuss it? Bring your car in. What's the best way to do it?
Come by and see me.
Come by and see?
Give us a call, but come by and see me. We will touch, we will feel, we will dream together, and we'll make it the way you wish.
I'm not sure what that's an ad for, but I like it already. Listening to Test Miles and FM News 10 KXL, I'm Nick Miles.
Favorite us, tweet us, friend us, love us, all at testmiles.com. It's Test Miles on FM News 101.
Live from our studios in downtown Portland, this is Test Miles on a Sunday morning, America's car radio show. We'd like to thank you for being part of the Car Nation. For more fun facts about car, testmiles.com.
In 1961, Mini became the first British car to sell more than 1 million automobiles.
And it's still one of the 3 most iconic cars in American history. All right, time to take a look at the news headlines. Jeff Zerschmied is back with us in the studio, and we're talking about some of the big things in the headlines. So let's go around the room. Sean, what was your story this week, the big one that impressed you in automotive?
I did not have a story.
All right. There we go.
I actually did not do car-related stuff this week. I did my own thing.
Hey, that's right. You were doing fitness. Jeff, what was your big stories of the, or what's your upcoming stories of the?
You know, my upcoming stories are, they're about to launch 2 new cars. Couldn't be more different. First, the Smart 4.2 is going to be launched right here in Portland. And then at the end of the month, the Lexus RX, their crossover SUVs. And that's a huge market for Portland. Big seller all over the place.
I noticed that car was very aggressive in the restyling. We should, the jury is out on that one. We'll see what everybody thinks about it, but very aggressive.
I want to see it in real life before I render any judgment.
I want to see how it feels and tastes too. Brad, do you have a story this week?
Just quickly on Tesla, a couple things. There was the in Vegas, the hacker trade show and convention,
right,
which sounds like a Sandra Bullock movie or something, but a Tesla was hacked. And what's different about Tesla is they're able to do the fix over the airwaves,
right?
You know, unlike the other car companies. So they did that. But Tesla also announced that they're losing $4,000 on every model. I think they're making it up in volume or something. But they lost $359 million last quarter.
Yeah, their stock tumbled as well.
Yes.
It's tough for Tesla. Zhenya, what was your story?
So this week, Mazda announced that the Mazda 5 MPV, as they're known in Europe, is going away for the 2016 model year for slow sales. They only sold about 6,000 this year, and that is 22% less than they sold last year.
All right, and for me, that's not an unexpected thing. The vehicle, I think, these small MPVs, they've tried. People want them to bring small trucks to the U.S., and they've never managed to do that.
You know, the thing about the Mazda 5 is it's actually a great car if you can deal with the looks, and people just didn't really care for the looks. It drives
really well. As a passenger, yeah. I was a passenger in that thing at speed on a road, and I was completely comfortable. It's really, it drives extremely well. It's a zoom factor right in there.
It is.
Unfortunately, Americans want bigger and better, baby. That's how
bigger and bigger.
That's how it's always going to be. The automotive world hasn't seen a no-haggle price since Saturn disappeared in 2009, but Lexus is about to bring it back. The idea originated in the company's discussion with dealers 2 years ago, and now dealers saying that the segment of potential buyers don't enjoy negotiating a price. So this news story breaking this week. In order to find out how the firm's pricing will alter the landscape, 12 dealers, Lexus dealers, will begin this pilot project at the beginning of 2016. That means that new and used car parts and services will come at a fixed price. I love that idea because I don't like haggling.
I want to be the car salesman that all he has to do is just sell the vehicle and not deal with the pricing and all that stuff.
Right. I mean, it's much easier. And I mean, haggling for me is, I'm terrible at it. My dad's really, if I do it for myself, I can do it for other people, no problem. My dad, brilliant at it. Every time we go to Mexico, he will walk away 20 times and before they call him back for the final price he'll pay. He's really brilliant. How much to get a cab ride here? Oh, it's 150. No, sorry, it's way too much. And he walks away. 125. Are you kidding me? 120. Come on, let's get serious. He's like that all the time, and he walks every time, and they'll chase him down the street. But me, I can't do it. I always end up paying a price I'm not happy with. Try haggling with Peter over at Mobile West. It's almost impossible. The guy had me in like a strong arm position. He says, I'm giving it to you for cost already. Just pay it. That's how that goes. All right, those are news stories of this week. Next week on the show, we're going to be in Italy. That's we have a special. We're going to the unveiling of the Alfa Romeo.
Not all of us
Giulia.
are going to Italy.
Well, actually, the truth is we already went to Italy. It's a specially recorded show because we'll be live at Pebble Beach. The Concorde Elegance going on next week in Carmel and surrounding areas. So Sean and I will be down there for TV, taking a look at all of these wonderful new cars. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. We'll see you again next week. If you need your fix of test miles between now and then, testmiles.com is the place to go. And if you need your fix and get your car all spruced up and ready for the oncoming winter, Peter at Mobile West will be able to help you and get it all cleaned out. Peter, thanks for being in the studio. Jeff Zershmi, thank you. Thank you, team. We'll see you next week or in between at testmiles.com. I'm Nick Miles.